Okay, this week's video is brought to you by Harrys.com. I don't put any more effort into shaving than I have to. Truthfully, it's somewhat liberating not to shave, but at the same time, I know about halfway through the week, my wife's gonna give me a forearm shiver when I get a little bit too close to her, and she points out that my facial hair is a little bit irritating. Not long ago, I bought a bunch of knockoff blades, thinking I was gonna make the experience better by not spending as much money, and the end result was those blades found their way to the garbage. I've heard about Harry's for years. I love the fact that it was a startup from a couple of guys that got sick and tired of paying high prices. They raised a bunch of money, bought a factory that had been making blades for over 100 years in Germany, and the rest is history. I've recently switched over to Harry's system. It's the best shave for the money that I've ever found by far. So check out harrys.com/redpoppy to redeem your $3 trial set. And remember, by supporting them, you're supporting us. Well, I don't know what else to do other than to just get wet.
I'll do it.
Oh, that's cold. Oh my goodness. So my intentions were to take it easy this week. Maybe do a little bit less than usual. Maybe relax a little bit. But after having some problems with the well pump, picking up a couple of new piglets, it turned into having more projects than usual. For the last few months or so, I've driven by somebody building a pole barn, and I finally stopped, talked to the guy that was building it, got a little bit of footage to consider, asked him how much he spent on the pole barn so far, and again took into consideration how he built it versus how I think I want to build it. In the meantime, we've been having some issues with our well. Now, the well pump's about 2 years old, and truthfully, anything mechanical that moves has to wear out. I wasn't sure if the pump was worn out. Okay, if I did this right, I should be able to throw this left switch and those top two lights should come on. I reached out to Rural Power Systems, the company that I got the pump from. They informed me that it probably wasn't worn out, but they would be more than happy to send me the parts that I needed because the parts were under warranty. Okay, now the only other light that I'm hoping comes on, but there's not a whole lot of sun, is the third light, which is the MPPT light, which means the pump down in my well is pumping. So that usually takes a few seconds to come on, so that's the next step. There we go. Okay, so I wired it up right. The pump is pumping. Now the next step is switching it over to the generator through the converter to verify that it's working. So I'm gonna shut this off because I don't want them both on at the same time. Okay, there's that. Now that side's on. So all week long, because the pump is not working at full capacity, I've been switching back and forth from the solar panels to the generator, doing everything I can to keep as much water in the tank while I'm waiting for the parts to show up. Now, about 6 months ago, I ordered a converter from Rural Power Systems that allows me to hook the generator directly up to the well, so when we have 2 or 3 days in a row of no sun, we can still have water. In the meantime, I've been plugging and unplugging the solar panels, and I finally decided it was time to wire it up properly, so all I now have to do is flip a switch. I called a friend of mine who is an electrician. He drew me a diagram and I got it wired up. But we're still waiting for the parts to show up to fix the pump.
Does it go like this?
Wow. What? I got here last night like 8:30.
Okay, you try and fill it up.
Actually-
Our oldest daughter Sage showed up for a few days and surprised us. She's been living out of state for the last few months, and we were more than happy to see her.
Do you want me to go fill up a bucket of water?
Yeah, that's gonna take a while.
She helped us get some raspberry starts planted that Cedar picked up from a friend of ours.
What, did you think it was gonna snow?
So now we've got about 20 raspberry plants along the front fence. The parts for the rear main seal on the tractor finally showed up. As much as I like this little Massey Ferguson 135 tractor, it's a two-wheel drive tractor. In a best case scenario, I would have a 50 to 70 horsepower four-wheel drive tractor. While I've been working on the little tractor, I've been giving this some thought. And it just so happened that one of my older brothers shot me an email that had an older four-wheel drive Ford tractor that was up for sale at an auction about halfway across the country. We have to get this into this shaft here, inside this shaft here, right? Okay. And then there's another internal. There's just no two ways about it. It's an absolute pain. I watched the tractor very closely and considered bidding on it. And seeing what the tractor sold for caused me to reconsider my little Massey Ferguson 135. But I got the rear main seal reassembled with a two-piece rope seal. And with Rhett's help, we were able to get it back together. After fighting the clutch alignment shaft for quite some time, I finally put my pipe wrench on the PTO, put a little pressure on it, and it fell right into place. The parts finally showed up for the well. This requires that I remove the well pump from the well, rebuild it on site, and get it reinstalled. Okay, I'm gonna cut this thing. Okay.
The Mario Bros down there?
I'm gonna cut this pump off. I'm not sure how. And then I'm gonna hand it up to you so we can rebuild it. Well, I don't know what else to do other than to just get wet.
I'll do it.
Oh, that's cold. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna rotate the pump, hopefully. Holy cow. Oh, I gotta turn the ladder. Oh. There we go. Here, Rhett. Okay, don't get the rope. Take it out. Hurry.
It's the wires are caught in the water.
Okay, just get it up there. What I discovered was the two galvanized cables that I used to suspend the pump in the well had broken. This caused the well pump to hang in a direction that I didn't like. So this is something that I wasn't anticipating fixing, but will be an easy fix with some new chain. I got the pump rebuilt with the parts that I got from rpssolar.com, and the rebuild on the pump from start to finish may have only taken me about 15 minutes. Getting down in that ice cold water got my heart beating for sure. At least once a year I try to shock the well and the water tank both with a gallon of bleach. I pour the bleach in, wait for it to dilute a little bit, pump it up the hill to the water tank, and then after letting the tank fill up, I usually try to empty the tank, letting it refill with fresh water. Now, watching that old mid-80s four-wheel drive Ford tractor sell for what it did at that auction has caused me to get serious about finding a four-wheel drive tractor. I found one somewhat locally that needs the engine rebuilt, and I'm really thinking hard about buying that tractor. So as much as I like my little Massey Ferguson 135, it's probably going to find a new owner. I love these old Massey Fergusons. They're so easy to work on. But as far as our living conditions are concerned, it would help out immensely to have a four-wheel drive tractor. I ran the tractor up and down the road a bunch of times, filling in the ruts, doing as much as I can to make the road better. Then I spread the gravel out around the house. We still have lots of gravel left, but more than likely I'll get a couple loads of gravel this year, probably ½ inch or less, and this should really help keep the mud away. I've been trying to clean up everything around the shop foundation in preparation of starting work, And I've got all these pallet boards left over from when I built the sauna. On a whim, I decided I would throw a little garden box together and see how it turned out. And with the 20 minutes of effort that I put into it, I really like it. I could wipe it down with some linseed oil, but I think I'm going to use what's left of the pallet wood to build as many garden boxes as I can. Now, gardening at 5,500 feet in elevation is going to take some effort, but we're going to figure it out. Now, there's a story in my family about my great-grandmother using linseed oil and rags to wipe down the church pews in the little tiny church in our neighboring community. And at some point during that night, when everybody had gone home, those linseed oil-soaked rags spontaneously combusted and burnt that little church to the ground. Linseed oil-soaked rags can be dangerous. I still haven't decided if I'm going to wipe these down with linseed oil or not, but I'm probably going to give it a try and see what it looks like.
Do you want me to hold it for you? You need help?
Did you see the other one?
Yes.
What do you think?
Perfect. How many do you want? Like 20? Is 20 too much to ask for?
Is the size okay?
Yeah, perfect. Well, I've actually never done this way before, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'll make as many as I can.
Okay. Do you need help?
I got it. We have a spot on the back side of the house that has become kind of a catch-all for everything from dirt bikes to shovels. And I think this week we'll get it all cleaned up, and this is going to be our garden area. Cedar and I have raised many different animals over the 20 plus years that we've been together, but we've never messed around with pigs. So this will be our first experience with raising pigs organically for meat. Over the next 5 or 6 months, we will raise them again for meat for our family. I need to build a quick place to keep these two little piglets until I can build something more permanent. So I went up on the hill, looked through the materials that I have, and threw something together pretty quickly. All that I'm looking for is a confined space where I can feed and water them for the next few weeks until I build something more permanent. Mando. Come on, Mando. You rang.
Maybe she saw Coco and so she know how to jump over the fence. Big black patch? Yeah, right there.
I also built a little covered area with some scrap tin that I had laying around where they can get out of the sun, the rain, or the wind whenever they want. I specifically put them right here on the hill for a good reason. Pigs stink, number one. But number two, we have bobcats, we have mountain lions, we have predators around. I want the pigs far enough away from the house that I don't smell them, yet close enough that I can see them. So again, this is a temporary shelter that we will use until I build something more permanent for them as they grow.